Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. We are continuing on Pewds today, the PewDiePie, Felix Schellberg. And yeah, well, I've done a couple things since the last time we streamed. I spent maybe like a half hour combining some different parts in the sweatshirt, and then I think the only other thing I did was I squared out the face a little bit more. My throat just died. I'm drinking some hot tea and I choked on it 5 seconds ago before I hit play on the stream. But either way, we're gonna be playing around with the hair. There's some stuff in the lips that's a little bit weird that I want to play with. I tried widening out the nose, but I'm not really sure if I'm gonna keep that. Other than that, I think we're really close to kind of being done with this bust. I could feel comfortable just saying it's done right now and move on to some more stuff. But honestly, I like to, once I'm in that kind of last 10%-y stage, I like to push a little bit further if I can. Try to maybe push on something further than what I would normally do, and, you know, try to get a little bit more out of it. So let's try to do that. Feel free to just chill, hang out, ask questions, whatever. And yeah, let's get into it. I think the first thing I want to do is play with these lips a little bit, just because there's kind of like an awkwardness to where they're touching, like where the top and bottom lip meet, and then the corners of that upper lip have some awkward stretching going on here that I would like to take care of. And for some reason it looks like my smooth brush is being a little weird here. I'm not sure. It's just being a little weak. We'll play with that, see if we can get that corner of the mouth to not be quite as stretched. And probably what I'm going to do here is step down really low and then just mask off. If you use your transpose line or your 3D gizmo, you can actually do some topological masking that's pretty cool. You can control, click, and drag on an object and mask down the length of that. Well, actually, it masks topologically, so if you have an edge loop, it will follow that. For a better example, down here on the neck. You can see how that works. But around here in the face, because there are edge loops running all the way around this, it's going to kind of mask a little bit more around that area, which is why around the lips, it's wanting to kind of do that circular mask there, which is a little frustrating, but we'll figure it out. So let's get in here and tweak these lips a little bit more. Let me open up my chat really fast. This squirrel thing is in the way a little bit. I have this tea steeper. Got my monkey mug and my squirrel tea steeper, and the squirrel is like right where my nose needs to go to fit in this cup. Tell me and Danny what's going on, guys. I'm just gonna move this out of the way for a second so I can finish this tea. Oh no, there's like nowhere to put this. It's dripping everywhere. This is nice. Oh no. Well, I guess I'll just smash my nose against this thing. Try to fit my schnoz in there. But what's going on, guys? Welcome. We're continuing on PewDiePie today, and specifically working on some lips right now. I'm going to be using move back face masking. I feel like if I can just get this connection a little bit better, I'll be happy with this shape. I do want to make sure that I'm not losing too much of the overall shape of that top lip though. And other than that, I feel like that's looking better already, and we can probably push this a little bit further once we get into expression territory, which we're not quite there yet, but we are pretty close. I've already broken symmetry down in the sweatshirt. It's pretty subtle, but mainly just for the folds. And I think I reproportioned that a little bit. I think I made it like a little bit bigger. But other than that, still pretty much exactly the same. 269 by Danny Mo. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Hold on a second, because the text is so small I cannot read it. I need to fix that. Get paid, get laid, Gatorade. Mahatma Grande. Very nice. I appreciate it. I appreciate the 269, man. That mug is boss. Yes, it's actually my girlfriend's mug. She left it here, so I have acquired it. It is mine now. And the steepers, the tea steepers, Earl Grey today, by the way. Normally we're hanging out with some chai, but I've been on the Earl Grey train lately. So I got a squirrel tea steeper from my sister and a narwhal. The other one, it's like the whale with the unicorn horn. It's pretty awesome. Ah, Beckert! Beckert, you swooping on us. Swooping on us with the name change. That's right. Oh, that's right, yes. I think you changed your name in the Discord as well. I do remember. I should have recognized. Alright. So let's get in here. Let's take another quick little look here at the lips. Again, masking's being... Oh, there we go. Randomly worked. Was being a little weird there. Duck Beans, awesome name. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Thank you for that follow. I think my original thought process on the donation thing, since I don't have that set up, was I'm never gonna get a donation. I'll set that up later. But let me actually, because we've had one at least the past few streams, every stream, so let me make a note just so I remember to do that. Because I've been bad. I keep forgetting. I think I said that like after each donation we got last week, so we'll be good. We'll get it figured out. It's supposed to read what's said. I don't know what's going on there. But that is, I think, starting to feel a lot better. Like I said, I think we'll tackle that a little bit more once we get into asymmetry territory. If anything, that upper lip is like maybe a little too thick. I don't know. I don't think it's like enough to cause alarm. Let's see. It's not like that's a difficult change. Do that really quick. Then obviously just slide this mustachio geo down. I love how ZBrush makes everything look so soft and toyetic. I don't think toyetic is a word, but I gotcha. I know what you mean. Is this because of the high amount of polygons? No, absolutely not. There's a variety of, it's just like sculpting with clay. Where's my browsing? So you can absolutely get some more like texture out of your work. But I do a lot of stylized stuff. I'm assuming that's what you've seen a lot of if you don't work in ZBrush yourself. But yeah, I tend to do, if I can click on something, I tend to do, more stylized stuff. So it's typically a bit more clean. I'm a dude that likes to kind of obsess over shape, over form, and line, and all that good stuff, and try to get as clean as we can. But yeah, there's a link down below somewhere to my art station if you want to see some more of that. We don't need to sit here and look through it all while we're streaming. Yeah, let's adjust our shape here. By default, like if you're just subdividing geometry, it will of course, continue to smooth out because you're going to something more high resolution. And when that happens, your geometry will kind of blend between those shapes. For instance, if I were to, let's see, just as a quick example for those that are unfamiliar, if I were to have a cube here, and if I were to take this cube, whoops, and add a subdivision level to this, what happens is ZBrush interpolates between your edges here. So if I subdivide once, that geometry smooths out a little bit because it's trying to add in additional geometry, these edge loops here, vertical and horizontal here, and here as well. Let's see what that looks like without that. If I were to initialize that again. So those are the edge loops that are being added in there. But when you subdivide, ZBrush tries to like blend between these forms, and it's actually very nice that it does that, because when you're trying to, all 3D programs actually do this when you activate smooth modifiers, but just depending on the density of the mesh, it will blend and figure out that shape a little bit better. So because I initially had some more edge loops in there, the shape is a little bit closer to that basic square. And if I were to add more basic edge loops in here, then the shape would be, even less smooth, or less close to a sphere in this case. But yes, it's just part of the nature of 3D modeling for subdivision modeling. But getting clean shapes, not an easy thing. Not an easy thing at all. Alright, so I think that's good on the lips for now. I was thinking it would be cool to break symmetry today on our pewds, and also get some stray hair strands in there, and then probably repaint in the like meme review logo somewhere on the sweatshirt. So that's where we're gonna start. Maybe we'll find some more things. I'm sure more stuff will stick out to us as we go. But yeah, feel free to just hang out, ask questions if you got them, or just kind of creep in the background like most people do, which I don't mind. Trying to hold on to this squirrel. Without shoving it up my nose, and it's not working very well. I need a wider mug. Most of my other mugs are a lot wider than that one. Polyswoop, what's going on, man? Is this a commission? This is not a commission. I don't really do commissions in the traditional sense. I'm a full-time freelancer, so I don't really have time to do like fan commissions really, and I don't think the monetary value is really there for that kind of stuff typically. Okay, so breaking symmetry. What kind of pose do we want to do? What kind of expression? I want this to be pretty slight, so I'm thinking something more akin to this. I think it's going to be pretty chill, not super extreme. We don't really have a lot to work with here, nor do I really want to push this like super crazy. I more so want this to just break up symmetry enough so that it doesn't feel so neutral like it does right now. But I try to keep it in neutral for as long as I can when I'm sculpting, because the better you can get something to look in neutral, once you start getting into posing, the better it's going to be from there. And that's also the same for like when you're working on, when I was working on Android 17 here. If we scroll down to look at his pose from the profile. Outside lane, what's going on? And rating with a party of 19. We're talking about posing right now, but welcome everybody. Welcome if you're new here. I am Follygon. We are working on a sculpt of PewDiePie today, a stylized version, obviously. And I'm talking about, well, we're about to jump into breaking symmetry and do a little bit of posing and a little bit of expression. And what I was just saying is that the better that you can get in the neutral, I should open the neutral version of this dude so that we can look at it. But the more what's the word? I guess flow, or just in that neutral pose alone, the more expressive nature that you can get out of that, I think once you finally go into posing, the better things will be from there. Some people like to just sculpt directly in pose. I just like to save time, I guess. It's a little bit easier to stay in the neutral for as long as possible. But let's go ahead and break symmetry. It's going up to transform, and I'm just going to turn off symmetry for every single, subtool here. Very quickly, as quick as I can at least. Wish there was kind of a batch way to do this. I don't think there is though. If there was, it would exist in the subtool master, which I don't believe there is. But all right, let's go ahead and start breaking and then eventually fixing again. Devil says, can you animate in ZBrush? Not really, no. Probably in the way that you're thinking of, no. But you can do some like little cheaty animation stuff with like layers and your timeline. Other than that, I would say no in the traditional sense, absolutely not. This is a sculpting program. Duck Beans. Would a model like this have too many polygons for game dev, or would you have to lower the resolution? As it currently stands, absolutely. I mean, in the head alone, like this base head, it's over 500,000 polygons. That's totally absurd. You would have to probably retopo this for sure. You might be able to get away depending on, you know, what it's going to be for, scale, how close the camera is going to be to it. You could probably get away with a lot of stuff with just using some like auto topology tools. And I like to use like Z-Remesher, which is what I've done here, to inform the flow of topology a little bit. But I've been sculpting on this quite a while, so some stuff has gotten warped, and that's fine. But if this is going to be like something that's going to be seen prominently in a game or in an animation, film, whatever, you're going to need to manually retopo for sure. But the high to low workflow is pretty common nowadays. It's I would say it's probably more common than low to high workflow anymore. ZBrush is well, kind of quickly becoming like the go-to, not just high resolution modeling program, but just like modeling program in general. At least that's what I've been seeing. I love me some Z though, so I'm probably a little biased in saying that. Last bit of Earl Grey from our monkey mug. Say goodbye to Monkey. He's gone. All right. So we've turned off symmetry, outside lane. Again, thank you for the raid. How was your stream, by the way? Didn't realize it had 500,000 polys. Oh, that's just in the head. The entire sculpt here is a little under 6 mil. So this is all high res currently. The stream is a lie. Anubis, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Welcome back, I should say. It has been a minute. Alright, so what do we want to do for our expression? Let's hop into Transpose Master. Essentially, Transpose Master is going to take all of our different objects or subtools, as they're called in ZBrush. It's going to concatenate them all into one 3D model, and then from there, we are going to be able to manipulate them all at once, which is very nice. And then after we're done, we just click one button, and it takes all those changes and puts them back on the individual tools over here. So we're gonna do some quick little manipulations. I'm thinking in the mouth, we wanna get like some kind of little smirk going on. We'll have to play with this for a while. Sometimes I like to, you know, make really large moves in the kind of earlier stages of posing, but I think for this, I want to, you know, play around with this a little carefully, make sure I'm not breaking my initial shapes here, kind of primary forms, and just kind of look for like little things. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty subtle pose. I'm thinking if I want to lower the brows or not. I kind of really enjoy the roundness of the eyes that we're getting right now. I like that a lot, so I don't know if we can maybe play with that a little bit. I don't want to get too far away from that in general though. If you are going to be doing anything with your mouth and your eyes are obviously your most expressive parts of your face. Keep in mind that if you are going to be doing anything with your mouth, that typically affects the whole area around your cheek, and that also typically affects the area around your eye. So if you're smiling or pushing some stuff up, your eyes are probably going to squint up a little bit as well. So as we do that, we might have to, you know, start to change the shape here. I do kind of want to keep that roundness. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, other than that, let's maybe do a quick little rotation or twist to the neck / head and go from there. Let's get our transpose line centered up here. What am I drawing on? That thing is thick, triple C thick, uphill water, what's going on? This is just my Cintiq tablet, my graphics tablet. A 1980s PC, no. So I got my pen here, and I got my model on screen, and I can just kind of sculpt directly on top of what I'm seeing. So it's very nice. I enjoy it a lot. Drawing tablets in the 80s? Yeah, man, it was called pen and paper, right? Alright, so let's try matching a little bit of the angle and I'm thinking it would probably be bad to make him look down. He's obviously like looking down at a phone or something here for a selfie. Maybe we could like model up a quick phone or something so it looks like he's doing that. But I think I pretty much want him looking at the camera, so if anything, maybe we can do like a little tilt in the head. Probably not too much though. And then what I'm going to do is rotate everything. I want to keep the head kind of positioned here on point with the camera. So if I turn off my perspective, I pretty much want him looking directly at me. So you can rotate your camera and hold shift, and that'll snap to certain angles, specifically here, the front. I'm just trying to line that up so that feels a bit better. And then with perspective on, we're already starting to, break symmetry quite a bit here. So we'll keep doing that a little bit more. Let's grab this sweatshirt. I don't really have too much I want to do down here. Like I said, this is going to be pretty subtle. I say at this point, let's go ahead and just T-pose back so that we can see all this stuff cascade back through our subtools, and then we'll continue on from there. Think that PewDiePie needs to destroy Titty Series? We'll see. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think if they haven't already passed up on the sub count, it's probably very, very close. We can see here that we got some issues. Like I said, we're gonna be breaking some stuff. This is just kind of inevitable. This kind of little like things that just because your geometry is different resolutions for your layers. So for instance here, or better to show you here, the density of the beard is much higher than the face. So that when I push or pull or manipulate on this, it is going to move that denser polygonal mesh in a different way than the lower polygonal mesh. Hence why that was kind of poking through there. And then once you start using masking and everything else, it starts to get even worse. So I think that is starting to feel much better now that we've just broken symmetry even a little bit. The mouth isn't feeling super great to me. It's not feeling very smiley. So let's go back into transpose. Just wanted to see what that looked like. We'll go ahead and adjust this here. And then we'll continue, I think, just making some changes to the mouth and trying to get more of an actual smile going on here. Alright, so let's pull back on these corners. And take a step back. It'll be easier to see these changes with the poly paint and everything else on. I think that's starting to get there. Maybe a little bit more. And maybe just kind of check some different angles here. Mask off our face. And I want to add a little bit, like I said, a little bit of asim here to the eyes. I want to keep that nice round shape that we've already got, but if we can push this maybe a little bit further, I think that would be pretty cool. An unwinnable war. Yeah, definitely seems that way. Not much of a war though. Bic lasagna. We could give him a plate of lasagna. That'd be nice. Yeah, I actually have the meme review logo. The color here of the sweatshirt is actually the same color of the sweatshirt that he sells, or he sold. I don't think the sweatshirt is still available. If you see it, it is most likely stolen and being sold on like Redbubble or something, which is actually where I saw it. That is not official, which seems really kind of just sketch and underhanded. Not cool. Alright, I think we're getting a little bit too squinty up there in the one eye. Let's take that back a step. And let's see. I'm trying to think here of how I'd want to do that. And then just like a quick little offset up there. I want to get some stray hairs in here as well. We'll probably be doing that in a little bit. Let's just check on our progress. I know we're making very small, subtle changes, but I mean that goes pretty far pretty quick. I'll give that a second to catch up for the rest of our subtools. Wouldn't small eyes be better? Actually, no. They wouldn't. They would be much worse. If we were going for something more realistic, yeah, you could probably do some smaller eyes if you wanted to. But if we're going for that like stylized appeal, Pixar style, all that good stuff, we want nice big eyes. Big eyes are nice and appealing. And too late to make that change? No, absolutely not. It's never too late to make big changes. I guess that would maybe be a small change since we're going smaller. But it would be, you know, as simple as going into T-pose and starting to scale down all of that at the same time. But I prefer the larger eyes. It fits the style. I think smaller eyes would kind of defeat the entire purpose. Let's see. I'm thinking that I might want to play with the eye corner a little bit and also just kind of change the direction of the eyes. Uh-oh, we got a little bit of warping going on up there. That's alright. Let me center my transpose line there. And change where these eyes are so they don't feel like they're looking up so much. Alright. And let me maybe just rotate these out a little bit. Maybe a little bit too much. Let's stick with that for now. We can think about doing some extra poly paint there later. He's got some blue eyes, doesn't he? We can play with that. What about his bulbous nose? He does have a pretty wide nose. I made his nose much wider, but again, the objective is appeal, and smaller noses tend to be more appealing. I've actually widened his nose quite a bit. If I were to roll back to some older versions of this, the nose right now is probably about as large as that's gonna get. Looks crazy. Crazy. Crazy sounds good, right? I think so. Can I make you a sculpture after this piece? Maybe. I'm always open for suggestions. If you guys got some ideas of some cool stuff, feel free to post it in chat. Alright, let's T-pose back. Actually, real quick. How's that feeling in the mouth? Alright, let's T-pose really quick, so I can see all that. Your family had their noses made smaller, surgically. Is it rhinoplasty? Is that the nose one? Nose job? Rhinoplasty? I think that's a pretty common surgery, or at least for people in the US out on the West Coast. I think it's fairly common. Oh, you know what? I think that readjusted our eyes back. So let me undo that on the eyeball. Get that back where we had it. Cool. Emporio Music, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Alright, I want to get a little bit more of the hit that I have going on here in that upper lid on the other one. So let me play around with that for just a moment here. Just to make sure, you know, we are keeping the eyes pretty rounded here, but also focusing in on that major shape. Let me hide these lashes for just a moment. So that overall shape, you know, right there, that's where that hit is that we're looking for. Just a little bit more of a push. And I think we can kind of get a nice in-between for the shape of our eyes, being a little bit squintier, but still keeping that nice roundness that we have. Is it we like. Getting a little seductive, honestly. We'll probably open up one of these just to keep that asymmetry going a little bit more. Alright, let's get some stray hair strands flowing around up here. We played with this hair quite a bit. I think that would be a good idea for next steps. Let's see. I'm going to duplicate one piece and then just insert directly on top of that. Let's see here. Let me set up my curved tube. Simon Cowell got surgery. Is he the Simon Cowell? Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the Who's Line guy. Simon Cowell? Like he's been in a ring with Mike Tyson. Or you could just say, looks like Mike Tyson. How do you make someone's face stylized? Every time I try to get, it gets uncanny. Almost realistic, but it's not the real person. Yeah, I talked about this on my last critique stream, which is every Friday at noon EST. If you guys want to get some stuff critiqued, you can shoot me an email. Just type in !critique into chat for instructions. But yeah, I talked about kind of that. Think of it like a seesaw where you have realism and stylization kind of on one on either side. And you're kind of like in the middle of that. And you just need to like decide which way you're going to go. I think the short answer is just kind of like practice. You'll get better at it with time. It's not easy, but yeah. I think that's up on my YouTube channel now. So let's get some more stray hair strands in here. How do we want to do this? How do we want a stray hair strand? I want these to be probably just like small little flowy pieces. So let's just start by blocking out a couple, essentially just where they will be. And then from there, then start manipulating them further. You can sculpt in Blender, but the toolset is not as good as ZBrush. ZBrush is the industry standard tool for digital sculpting. Oops, what did I do there? Links in chat so you can see the face that you're working on. Yes, you can. Feel free to share anything in chat that you guys are working on. Absolutely. I always say, go ham, but don't spam. And then on Fridays, if you guys want me to look at anything or critique anything, I won't do that today. I save all of that for Friday so that we have just kind of all of it saved up till then. Let's see here. I don't want to overdo these like stray hair strands. Obviously this isn't going to be the final placement. I'm going to have to work on that start and end point quite a bit. I just want to get a couple of these flowing. And let's see. I'll probably duplicate a few of these as well. But let's start there. Run in auto groups really fast. And just hide these larger blockier pieces. Awesome. And then just a quick remesh on that, just to make that easier to work with. And then from there, I'll still keep these kind of grayed out so they're easier to see. I'll just kind of tuck these in like so. And then of course, you know, stray strands. Probably want these sticking up off the surface a bit more. Kind of like what I'm seeing over here with a few of these clumps. Let's maybe just continue pushing that, adjusting. I'll probably get a couple more down here so that this feels like it doesn't kind of just end so suddenly. Not that this will be like seen super well, but let's do this just so we can get a visual. A little bit harder for me to, I think, just see individual strands here. That's fine. Probably just go, I don't know, maybe super thin with these. Not really giving it too much thought. I at least want to get out the position of these first. And again, this is just the curved tubes brush. It's a quick little kind of insert hairbrush almost. Can be used for a ton of stuff though. Use it for belts, straps, all sorts of good stuff. Sometimes for arms and legs. It's great for just blocking stuff out really quick. That is in a general tube shape. Let's see, what is... Let me just pull that down a bit. So I think more so than anything, just as I'm starting to work on this, Saravia, thank you for the follow and welcome. I think more than anything, if I'm going to do some of these stray strands of hair, I kind of want them more like what I'm starting to do here, whoops, where I'm getting them to kind of just like overlay over top of like some of these places where the curve, where it like finalizes the shape, is just a little bit too smooth. More so like up here in the actual hair, it's like not that big of a deal. I think they will help break up the shape. I am going to keep these up here, but let's just like hold off on it for a little bit and work more so on the stuff that will help to break up the kind of silhouette form change here. So let's maybe play with pulling some of these down a bit. Something more like that. That's what I'm thinking. Julie, what's going on? Welcome back. How are you? How are you doing? How goes the robits? Alright, so from here, let's see what we can do. It's just kind of pushing these around a bit. Keeps happening. It's like this weird in-between brush. kind of breaks when you use the transpose and 3D gizmo. It's always fun. Alright, so from here, let's just deflate some of this stuff a little bit. Ooh. I'm gonna have to manually deflate these because some of these are too thin. I'm just gonna use my smooth brush and tap on my surface, my geometry. If I use the deflate slider on stuff like this, this will like flip the geometry inside out, and that's never fun. Never fun to deal with and try to fix. Alright, so a little bit of that, and then I just want to duplicate some of these and see what kind of variation I can get just really quickly. Just as a, use that as a starting point almost. Robots had to get put on hold because you got married. Well, that makes sense. Congratulations, though. That's fantastic. I am doing great. Thank you for asking. Sculpting away at some stray hair strands right now. And I'm playing around with it. Trying to find something that we like. I think more so I just wanted this initial one in the front and maybe like one of those additional back ones. So let's keep this and that, delete the rest, and then we can insert some more as we go. Here. Chill up there for a moment. Looking great, well thank you. One thing that I like to do on my geometry once it starts getting a little bit more difficult to manipulate is just to lower the poly count. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. Typically for tubes of geometry though, I just like to lower the length of the subdivision levels, or lower the subdivision levels along the length. That tends to make it a little bit easier to work with. Let me get a couple more of these in here though. We can kind of play with it from there. I think if we just get some more of these, get some more noise going on, I think we'll be better off. So let me just try. Whoa, come on. It's kind of going a little awkward there. We'll try to fix that here. And obviously that's way too thick, but let's just try to fix that positionally. This is not doing what I want. All right, let me just smooth that out. There we go. That's more of what I was looking for. And I would like to get a couple more of these right here. So a cool thing that you can do with the 3D gizmo or transpose line is you can just mask off everything except for what you want and then control click and drag and duplicate that. I made a tutorial just last week on the transpose line. If you guys have never gotten into using it, there's a ton of like really cool kind of like secret features and functions that you can do with it, like inflating and all sorts of cool stuff. Yeah, check it out. There's a link below somewhere to my YouTubes. Beefcake, what's going on, man? Yeah, ZBrush doesn't really use your GPU like at all. So, polygroup it might utilize your GPU. I feel like that's like maybe there might be some plugins that utilize it. I feel like polygroup it might have. Either way, it really doesn't matter. You don't really need it for ZBrush, but for other things like rendering, if you're gonna be rendering in something else, you might want some GPU rendering. Help you out. Alright, let's get one more of these. Just control, click, and drag to duplicate. Beautiful. And we'll make this one scale up a little bit. Maybe inflate. Maybe too thick. Alright, then let's grab the 3 of these. We'll kind of work on these as a group. And, whoops, come back. So just to help get some more breakup in the hair, I think we're starting to get there, but we're gonna need a few more of these little stray strands. Stray strands. Tried to say that 5 times fast. Stray strands, stray strands, stray strands, stray strands, strands, strands. Perfect. Nailed it in one. All right, let's get a couple more of these going. Way too fat. I think I'm just gonna go a little hog wild here. Try to get more than a few of these going. And then after that, maybe we can manipulate them a little bit more. Honestly, the whole point of this is to try to get some noise on our hair at this stage. And I think that's probably too many. They're starting to get a little wormy. That's okay, that's easy to fix. More than anything, I was looking for like slight silhouette breakup. So we'll get there in just a moment. But let's experiment while we still can. I'm gonna just try to go for quantity for a moment here. Let's maybe try a few more and then start manipulating these. Keeps freaking out on me. Alright, so very quickly from here we got all these beautiful, beautiful stray strands of hair. I'm gonna run a Z-remesh on all of these at about 1K. We'll see how that does. Actually, let's go lower than that. Let's go 0.1. And that brings us down to like 5,000. It also groups all of these separately, which is very nice. And then for my move brush, I'm gonna turn on Mask by Polygroup. And essentially what that allows me to do is without masking stuff, I can just kind of grab and manipulate these one at a time without kind of worrying about it freaking out too much, at least. I typically don't use this feature because it doesn't really like fit into my workflow super well, and I find it to be more troublesome to work with than not working with it at all. But we'll play with it for a little bit, try to get some like quick, like I said, break up here. Probably delete a lot of these. But let's find out which ones we actually like. before we do that. Some Cuba cores. Cuba cores. I'm not sure I'm familiar with Cuba cores. Is this above the quad core? There's more than 4? Maybe this is just a different kind of core. You're so kind and happy. Not like the real Felix, who's a mean Nazi, right? Haven't you seen his British military outfit? No, I obviously like Felix a lot, or else I wouldn't be sculpting him. Stuff like these are probably gonna go away. These ones are just kind of, I think, awkwardly placed and, well, maybe not. Actually, what we could do instead, getting rid of these, is kind of like tuck them into the length here. Whoop, stop it. Typically the reason I don't use that polygroup auto masking, or what is it, mask by polygroup, is because I'm using like a really big brush and I'm trying to click on one of these, I can accidentally click on another one. And essentially the whole point of using this feature so that you don't have to, you know, mask off when you have a bunch of little things, but when you have a bunch of little things you accidentally click on the wrong little thing, and it's just like, it seems backwards to, I don't really know how else it could work functionally, but at least right now it's working decently well. I can't complain too much. All in good time. Much like with everything else that I sculpt, the first stage is just kind of blocking out, seeing what works, getting rid of what doesn't, going from there. Like I said, there's probably too many at this point, but all about trying out new things. Oh, and also, because it's Tuesday, I'll be streaming on the Pixelogic channel later today, 6 p.m. Two Stream Tuesday. Stream here on my channel at noon, and over on the Pixo channel, the creators of ZBrush, if you guys are new here and not familiar, stream on their channel at 6 p.m. EST every Tuesday. And then on Fridays, we do the live critiques. I think somebody already checked on that, but !critique in chat if you guys want the instructions on how to get your stuff critiqued live here on stream. We have, the past 2 weeks, had a just ton of stuff to look at. It's been awesome. By the way, you're steadily growing in viewers. Kudos. Wow. Well, thanks. He's cool. Everybody else agrees. I'm waiting for that one person. It's just like, PewDiePie's a Nazi. How could you do this? How could you make art of a Nazi? Also, I feel like Nazi's such like a weird, like out of all the things you could deface someone with, why Nazi? Blonde hair, blue eyes, Nazi. So obvious. How could you not see it? Alright, so that's actually starting to get somewhere with all the stray hair strands. So I would say at this point, we either need to go for a lot more or a lot less and just have like a few here and there. I think the better option would be to have less. I find that this kind of stuff, less is typically more. So, especially for this style. So I tried some of the stray hair strands back here. I think a lot of them are just like not going to work for what I want to do. And more so, I'm looking for like I said, silhouette breakup. That's kind of like the main reason I want to get some of these. And a lot of these are just kind of useless. Not really adding anything. If anything, kind of subtracting. Unless of course we were to get like a bunch more of these, which we could very quickly kind of do a quick duplicate test on. Let's see if we wanted to start trying to get a lot more of these, just very quickly. Boop-a-doo. Yeah, kind of up here. Maybe we can start getting. I'm kind of liking that, in all honesty, at least a little bit. So maybe that's something we can play with a little bit more. Nazi on the front lines, right? The front lines of YouTube. Is each hair strand its own polygroup? Yeah, currently it is. And I just duplicated that and kind of started pushing stuff around, seeing what we can get. Like I said, trying to just break up that silhouette a little bit, but I feel like some of these are just a little bit too kind of misplaced and wonky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge those two that I duplicated together, do another auto groups here so I can select these more easily, and I'm just going to start deleting the ones that I don't like at all. I'm going to move that one, get rid of that. Let's delete those. And then for where these are kind of like doubled up on each other, I'll probably like... Yeah, I don't really like this one either. Go away. I'll probably just get some... I'll just like make one of these quite a bit shorter than the other. I'm just using like a super big move brush right now. And trying to break up that shape a bit more. Come on, scooch. And try to do something like that. And like I said, a lot of these I think are still kind of doubled up too much. Might be able to get more variation out of these though. Just duplicate really quick to start getting more strands of hair, and then, oh boy, just crisscross them all over the place. Hair, for me, I think hair is like one of the most boring things to watch, and one of the most boring things to sculpt as well, but it's like so rewarding when you get to a point where your hair, you know, your polygonal hair is starting to actually look and represent hair very well, look like and represent hair very well. A nice feeling. Takes a while to get there though. What the heck was that? Started dancing. Alright, I want to make a lot of these a lot shorter. They feel like Whoa. Just like little strands kind of poking up from his hairline. Kind of like this. And honestly, these three... Oops. Oh wow, there's a lot there now. I'll have to delete a bunch of these. These are way too doubled up and crazy. Hawk, what's going on, man? How you doing? We are working on some stray hair strands, slowly but surely. This stuff takes quite a while. Probably getting a little bit too noisy here, so let me delete some of these. I think I just want those initial 3 that I had. I think I'm more happy with that than anything else. And let's try to position these a little bit better. Ooh, that does not sound fun. Getting over a cold. But I'm doing well. Hopefully you feel better soon. Do I 3D print? I do. I have an extensive background in printing with a variety of technologies. FDM, SLA, SLS, all sorts of goodies. A lot of the stuff that I do, I haven't done a full color sandstone print in a while, but there's actually a link down below to my 3D print shop where you can check out all the stuff that I have set up for printing. Most of my work is sculpted with the intention of printing, just because my professional work is in production. These are way too long. So I have a background in working on stuff for physical production, and for a lot of that stuff you have to think about, you know, if it's going to be able to be printed for RP, or if it's going to be able to be molded. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. Happy to answer any questions about that kind of stuff, but yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Lost Deku. Deku. And we got Deku on screen. Welcome, and thank you for the follow. I feel like that's appropriate, right? Get some My Hero usernames up in here. I'm gonna delete you. And you are just way too long, my friend. Let's just do something like that. Why didn't I use that reference image? I don't know what that reference image is. Risky click. Nice. Yes. I should have used this as my main reference. You're absolutely correct. What was I thinking? Fart night. Ha ha ha. Very good. Welcome. Can you download my models to print yourself? I do not typically upload them. I used to sell a bunch of 3D prints. For a while, there's this old school website called 3D Share. It's pretty much dead at this point, but I used to upload a ton of my stuff there. For a while, for like a year and a half, I was the top seller on there, but I just the website kind of fell off after a couple years. Like 2.5 years of using it. Didn't really get as many visits, and then I don't know. The problem with me giving away the Look, if you create digital content and you post it somewhere online, it's gonna get stolen. It's just kind of inevitable. And if I give away and or sell some of that stuff, you know, eventually it will get stolen. And I'm not a huge fan of my stuff getting stolen. It's kind of inevitable. It's just like a product of the shitty internet. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the future we'll do it some more. We shall see. I don't really know if there's enough people out there that do would like to 3D print my stuff though. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can let me know if you guys would like that. You can charge people. Absolutely. But it only takes one. There can only be one Hollander. Alright. A lot of these are just too similar in length, so let's go through and break that up some more. What do you think? I think we're getting too noisy. Kind of like in that in-between area where we either need to go, I think, still for a lot more or a lot less. And I am currently leaning towards a lot less. I do like these, like, few front strands a lot. Oh. If I don't completely break everything, which right now that is just, like, inevitable. Alright, let's see. Let's delete. You can go away, you can go away. You can go away. You as well. I more so just want these. Let's see. Yeah, I think we just got like a little too heavy-handed with the duplications, and things were starting to feel like way too similar in a lot of these areas. If anything, let's start there. And I want to take a quick break from the stray hair strands and adjust my eyes for the expression. But I do like the additional noise that we're starting to get up here. Had the sweetest lemon in your entire life? Ooh. Why are we eating lemons? Alright, that's a little bit too dark. Let's go a little bit brighter. And I think I just want to open up these eyes a little bit more. I'm getting a little too seductive in one eye there. Fun fact, do you know that everybody, pretty much everybody, I've never met someone that really didn't, other than some Photoshop models, but pretty much everybody has what I call a banana face. Everybody's face has like a slight curve to it one direction, and that's just because you end up using the muscles on one side of your face more so than like the other. It's kind of like being right or left-handed. Your face kind of does the same thing. PewDiePie, for instance, his face has like a slight curve, slight crescent going this way. And a lot of the time it's like very subtle, but everybody's face has it. I like to get, you know, a little bit of that in there. Typically it's most noticeable around like the bridge of the nose and the line of the lips, if you were to like go into Photoshop and try to figure that out. But I think it's typically pretty obvious. But yes, I always call it banana face. And it's something that's very, you know, we don't want to overdo it or anything. That's not why I pointed out. Just so I can break the symmetry line that's coming down here through the face. Anything we can do to like break that up. Alright, let's see how that looks with the eye change there. You know what, if anything, I might do that a little bit more on that right eye. I do kind of like that a little bit. But more so over there. We'll see how this looks after that eyelash shifts. And we can listen to my neighbor's dogs kill each other, which is always fun. One thing that I always pay attention to in my eyebrows that is very nice. So when you're looking at the shape of your face, you have these internal silhouette lines that are really important, especially in these stylization of characters. So wrapping up and around the brow, typically there's like a little dip in and swoop and connect back to the other brow. Jesus, dog, chill, your boner, jeez. So following that line from one brow to the other, I typically try to kind of connect up my brows with this imaginary line, whereas, you know, a lot of the time I'll see stuff kind of like this, where one brow is maybe like higher than the other. Even if you're doing some kind of like raised brow effect, you should try to get those to like flow and connect into one another. So looking more so at those endpoints, if I were to draw like an imaginary line through here, how well would that flow? Right now it's flowing pretty well, but I'd like to, you know, push that even more, maybe. Let's look at that, get that to really follow the shape of the brow there. And these are, you know, kind of like, we're in the last 10%-y stage. So this is what I think about when I'm kind of looking at expression. But when I'm just sculpting in general, if we were to look at the face, you know, I'm always looking for these kind of internal lines. Like we have this line around the brow that swoops in and kind of like flows down here to the corner of the mouth. And even right now, like a little bit around here, kind of for that like eye cavity as well. So these are all like little things that I look for. What's going on, Nami? How are you doing? Thank you for that follow. Some of the paint here got a little messed up. So it's like a little stretched. Little blotchy. It's a quick fix. Another thing that I want to do with my hair is actually add in some gradation, some gradient. And that's maybe something we can look at very quick. I think the stray hair strands at this stage are starting to work a little bit better. They kind of feel a little bit too noisy. If anything, like the larger shape of the hair feels way too thick outside on this side of the head, like just how far that's coming out. And that should be something that we can fix pretty easily here if we go back to T-pose. Let me try that really quick. And then we can look at adding some gradients to our hair. Tea with lemon is the flu season snack. I don't have any lemon. I always do tea with honey. If I can, I'll use milk with chai. But most of the time I just do water. The land of milk and honey is in my kitchen. Chill your boner. Yeah, these dogs are freaking out. They're probably not going at it in that regard, but they still need to chill. Alright, so let's select all these here. And I guess just this. Jesus. Alright, so I think Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is like an initial squash here. Just to bring that in a bit. And then I'll... Oh, come back. And then I'll manipulate that with my move brush. I don't have any dogs. No, these are not my dogs. Do not accuse this nonsense for me. My neighbors, I am surrounded by dogs on all ends, and in particular, this neighbor next to me likes to keep their dog out on their porch all the time, sometimes all night long, which is a super shitty thing to do. And currently, it's a little bit warmer now. It's 37 degrees Fahrenheit out, but like it was 10 degrees out the other day. And the dog was out way longer than it should have been. But because all my neighbors have dogs around me, they're all like just barking at each other all day long. Makes it very nice for trying to stream or ever record anything. It's a nice little perk of my neighborhood. Alright, let's continue manipulating our hairs. Our wee little hairs. I think some of these are doubled up too much over here too, so we'll probably delete a couple of those. But very quickly, let me T-pose back. Bun says the sculpting is amazing. Well, thank you, I appreciate that, Bun. Need some soundproofing? A little bit, yeah. I got some foam over here around the walls that really helps with dampening reverb and echo. But, yeah, that's about it. Coffee with honey is good? Ooh, I'm sure it is. Alright, let's delete some of these. Oh, wow, there's... Okay, those can go away too. They're not even seen. That feels like so much better for the width there. I'm wondering if I should just like delete these stray strands. Stray strands, stray strands, stray strands, stray sand. It's getting there one step at a time. Ooh, that's nasty. You can go away. You can go away too, I think. Let's try keeping these more up towards the hairline. Keep wanting to call it the break, just because sculpture I always think of where a form kind of hits or breaks. So I'm like the hair break, the hairline, whatever, same diff. You know what? You can just go away too. Let's see, let's get rid of you. Maybe not. Let's just make you a little bit more varied. Try to make this shape a little bit more interesting, so it's not the exact same as the other one. It's just like so many polys in this, it's hard to manipulate it. Thanks, Hawk. You have a great day, man. Toodaloo. Our stream's going to be a little bit shorter today anyway, just because I'm going to be streaming tonight on the Pixelogic channel. And I have some stuff that I need to get done before then. By the way, for those that were not able to join us, that video is available on YouTube now. But we will be working on... Give it a second. I might have just crashed ZBrush. Oh, there we go. We're going to be working on this dude tonight. So this is a concept or a sculpt based off of a concept by Luigi Lucarelli, or Hello Luigi. We did this in about 2 hours on the Pixelogic stream last Tuesday. And again tonight at 6 p.m. EST on their channel, we'll be working on this dude some more. So come on, swing by if you are around. We'll have some fun working on him. I'm going to delete him for now, so we don't clog up our scene. Alright, so what do we got going on here? I think a little bit more cleanup here and we'll be in a lot better place. I think we started talking about tea and now I'm like, now I need more. I get that way with coffee too, except I don't drink coffee very often. It just makes me want to drink it. What's going on back here? This is all garbage. Go away. I try not to drink coffee too often, because I love coffee too much. Alright, a couple more stray strands, just kind of coming up there. A little bit more variation here. Let's take one of these. Just make this way shorter. I want a lot of these kind of flowing the natural curve of the hair that's going on right now, but at the same time, I need a few that are kind of doing what this one is doing, and some of these ones in the front that are kind of just going over top of some of these other curves, which is what really helps to break up that shape quite a bit more than what we have with a lot of these, which are more so following this major direction. So if we can break that up a little bit more, I think we'll be in a good place. Some of these are just like a little more messy than I would like overall. And I don't know, we can look at a way to kind of clean that up maybe. Let's see. Crash into Space, welcome to the stream. And thank you for that follow, man. How are you doing? Alright, so let's see. This is what I'm talking about, where it's getting like difficult to manipulate some of these. I'm gonna try doing a quick remesh. It's really not gonna do much though. If anything, it's just going to thin them out more, which is actually kind of fine, but let's come in here, let's grab our Z Modeler brush. I know this is gonna be super boring, but it will really help a lot of these shapes. Specifically where these are getting way out of control. So let's delete some edge loops here. And because there's less geometry to kind of interpolate between, the form, when smooth, becomes a lot more clean. This is a trick I do on a lot of different stuff, just to help ZBrush along. Look like a bad comb over. PewDiePie, I think, would look beautiful with a comb over. Follygon, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Alright, let's get in here a little bit more with our Z Modeler brush and continue shaping some of these uglier strands up. Yeah, we're getting like Donald Trump level of comb over here, aren't we? Alright, so from the front, let's see, get that distance read. I think the shape of our hair here on the outside needs to kind of curve a little bit faster. So I think we'll hop back into T-pose and look at that. We're focusing here on these additional strands of hair, but at the same time, like the primary shape of the hair is much more important. So if that's not feeling good, then the rest of this isn't going to feel good. So look how that just kind of swoops a little bit faster than what we have. Ours is kind of a little bit more boxy. That shouldn't be too hard to fix, I don't think. Grab all of these. And I guess the strays as well. We'll just try doing some slight manipulations here. And this is, his shape, the shape of his head is pretty boxy to begin with. So I'm gonna have to be a little careful that we don't get too thin in some of these areas, like there, for instance. And maybe we can give a little bit more volume in some of these other areas to counter that. All right. Like I said, the most fun thing to do in ZBrush by far. Absolutely being facetious. Alright, let's head back. Oh yeah, I think that definitely feels a lot better. Silhouette-wise, we'll see once that goes through. I am using the Z plugin Transpose Master for this, by the way, for those that are unfamiliar. It's up in your Z plugin menu. I can't open it right now though, because it's calculating. I guess I don't have to import those over, but essentially it will sit there and calculate all of your subtools, even the ones that you haven't changed, because it doesn't know better. It doesn't know whether you change them or not. I wish there was a way to kind of tell it. Like if you could mask off only what you wanted it to transpose, that'd be pretty cool. I feel like that would be incredibly difficult. A lot of the tools in ZBrush kind of already work that way with masking and everything. Ooh, fix that a little bit. And I'm gonna soften just a few of these transitions where we're just way too sharp, way too hard of an edge. And that's just caused by the creasing that we had before. We just haven't really gone back through and done a quick little smooth pass on these. But luckily that's very easy to do. And I think that's much better. All right, I feel like there's maybe just a few more of these that, I don't know, let's delete a couple more. Just where it's getting a little too crazy. Gorit, maybe? Gorit CP, thank you for the follow there, appreciate that. Let's see. I kind of prefer a lot of these shorter strands. Maybe we can shorten the length of some of those. I think I'll redo that one. I think I'll redo a lot of those that are just too long. Kind of like some of these though. We'll get rid of that one that's like right on top. Let's just see that without real quick, just to make sure our base shape is looking good. Marta Burden, thank you for the follow, welcome. I really like the kind of base shape that we have going on here, especially from that front view. I think that just kind of smooth pass that I did really quick actually helped quite a bit. But I want to redo, now that we've kind of decided a little bit, we've kind of been experimenting here for a little while on exactly what we wanted to do here, but I'm liking the shorter strands mainly coming out of the hairline, so I think we're gonna get just a quick do-over on a few of these and go from there. Let's make sure these aren't all the exact same length and size. Oop. Alright. I don't know, now that I have this like direction in mind, I feel like I might redo all of those. I don't really want to go through the time to do all that. But it's better than it looking bad, right? Yeah, I much prefer this direction. Maybe just get some more variation in there. I think take a break here on the hair in just a moment and take a look at the rest of our face and the rest of kind of how we've started to push asymmetry, just so we can get away from our little hair tubes for a minute. Alright, that's starting to feel a bit better. Alright, so let's add our material back on there, make sure that's good. Step back for a moment. I think the overall shape is feeling better. In terms of the face, I think I'm kind of good here. I started to do some of the folds down here for my sweatshirt. I wanted to attach this kind of pocket here and get some more asym going on this. I think very quickly I'm just going to get a few folds here and then do maybe a proxy merge. We'll see after we sculpt on this for a moment. For those that have not seen the process here for sculpting these folds, I showed it off I think during our last stream quite a bit with the sleeves, but essentially the goal here, obviously look at reference, but for something of this fabric, you know, there's some pretty large folds. So typically what I end up doing is carving in some like really large shapes at first, using something like a dam standard or a standard brush, whatever you prefer, kind of playing around with. I'm just getting some general quick breakup here to figure out exactly what I want to do. I'm thinking about like the hands coming in here and how they would kind of deform the fabric. And then I'm just going to kind of soften this up a little bit. And that's already feeling quite a bit more natural. We can maybe see what that looks like with the material on there. Way better than, you know, just that like flat tube. So that's already feeling better. Switch our color here real quick. I'll just keep this material on for a sec. So we can, if we like kind of some of that breakup that we're getting, we can start defining that a little bit more. The number of brushes, something like a pinch, or what I'm using right now is the pinch. I was using the sharp soft edge brush before though. Let's see, let's carve up a little bit more up here. Let's kind of flatten that. I want the majority of the weight to be like towards the bottom of that shape, kind of like it's stretching it out a little bit. So that's something that we can look at doing here as well. Baby, what's going on? What do we got? Uh-oh, looks like my stream is not streaming on my side. Oh, I think it's working now. Hopefully we're good. Let me know if you guys can still hear me. I just got a series of dropped frames there, and my stream looked like it went offline for a second. Baby, got your, did you say first? Let's see. Just did this lovely guy. We got some kind of like little alien creature. He's got a fun nose. I'm digging that nose. Twitch just crashed for you as well. Well, hopefully you can hear me still. Lanera, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Like I said, Twitch just crashed on my end as well. Let me know if you guys can hear me, and we'll continue on here. Hopefully. Whoops, wrong brush. So as I was saying, we can... Yes, all good, cool. So as I was saying, you know, we want to get the weight of this to feel like it's more so towards the bottom. So it feels like it's being pulled or stretched a little bit. If you had your hands in there, that would definitely be the case. So I'll be making it a little bit more flat on the top portion from the side silhouette, and a little bit more rounded on the bottom. To do that, I think let's try just kind of rotating this maybe. I don't know, we'll see how this works. I'm just gonna rotate that up. Oh, there we go, cool. That's pretty easy. That was a lot easier than I was thinking it was gonna be. Which is always nice. I love those nice little surprises. All right, on to the actual fold there. So I'm digging this kind of V shape that we have. A lot of what we get in folds is kind of these basic like V or Z shapes, kind of like these simple zigzags. If we look at our body here, we have kind of a bunch of these kind of really larger shapes going on here. It's either something like that, or you know, you'll see a lot of like these diamondy kind of shapes, or that inversed. It's kind of the way this fabric tends to naturally go. It'll be a little bit tighter on something like leather, or depending on other materials, you can get lots of variation in your folds. But this is the basic shape that I at least start carving in initially. Alright, with that color, I think we just want to pay a little bit more attention to our edge quality here. Alright, cool. Maybe make this pocket thing like a little wider. I don't know. I think it's fine. So from here, I was thinking about merging that into my hoodie, or doing a quick proxy merge so that it felt like it blended a little bit better without actually doing that. For those that don't know what a proxy merge is, it's essentially, I'll duplicate my sweatshirt, so I have this duplicated, then I have this pocket. Then what I'll do is I'll merge that down. I should have deleted subdivs, that's fine. I'll merge that down, and then I'll do let's do a 300 res Dynamesh. Hey, I can't read your Chinese name, but thank you. That's a lot of kanji. Thank you for the follow. Alright, so I'm gonna soften that form through here to get our proxy merge kind of blending a little bit nicer. The reason why I don't want to blend this right now is because you can see that it's merging here on the sleeves. So what I should have done, I should have deleted my sleeves. I think what we're gonna do instead of all this proxy merging is take our sleeves, step on down a little bit, rotate out, so that when I Dynamesh, this doesn't all merge together, essentially. I'll rotate that sleeve back out. Cool. Easy peasy. And then I will take that pocket and attach that pocket down here. And now none of that is touching, and we can just Dynamesh that all together, which I will do now. But when Dynameshing with Polypaint on, it deletes your polygroups. Oh no, I still want the sleeves. I want the polygroup sleeves there, so I will redo that really fast. Luckily, Dynamesh is pretty quick. Alright, then we can kind of clean up this transitional area just a little bit, just so it feels more integrated. I'm not going to do anything with like stitches or anything for this. I think I just want this to be kind of quick, and at least we have a little bit of a body down here. Most of the focus is going to be on the face, so I think we're going to be fine. I will do a quick projection now, just so I can slide those arms back in there, make that feel more at home. So let's do a zero mesh, keep groups. I have tried 3D Code, yes. I used to use 3D Code a lot for UVs and Retopo. I like the UV and Retopo tools. But in terms of sculpting tools, that's a negative, my friend. Alright. Just fixing a couple polygroups there so that when I do this, remeshes a little bit cleaner. Alright, come on. Don't know why that's taking so long. Essentially, what we're doing is just getting a low poly version, and then we're going to project our folds back onto that. This was all just a merge on that pocket there really quick. And then what we'll do is we'll do a quick little pass on the face, and then we'll go back up to our hair strands. I think we're kind of, pretty much done with this dude. Like I said, we're kind of in that like last 10%-y stage where we're just trying to push a little bit further on everything as much as we can. This is just like a quick bust, you know. I'm not doing a full character. I don't want to spend, you know, a whole month working on this or anything. We're not giving him legs. We all know Felix doesn't have legs in reality, so why give him legs here in 3D? All right, there we go. We got a remesh. Not super clean, but it is low poly enough for what we need. So a subdiv, a project down here, and we'll just do maybe like 2 more of those, 1 or 2 more. That's right, remesh. Just some auto Z remesher though. Nothing fancy, although the poly groups are a little bit fancy, I guess. Alright, cool beans. Uh-oh, looks like we got a floating piece of geometry in there. Or a few floaters. So I am going to grab all of that. Oh, you know what? Let me see this. I'll just smooth that out. I think it'll be fine. That might actually be connected in there. I'm not going to take the time to look though, I just don't care. For something like this, it's fine. Alright, so let me rotate our arms back into where they were previously. And our sleeves. Armies in our sleeveys. What is it? Where does the general keep his armies or something like that? In his sleeveys? Ha ha ha. Alright. There we go. Let's grab our meme review little logo real quick. Let me do a quick little additional breakup there. Let's import the meme review. So I was thinking of doing a vector for this and just like extracting the actual geometry, which is one way that we can do this. There's a cool little plugin that allows us to do that. Or what we can do is just take this and paint it directly on. So the spotlight tool here is actually, I'm using it as a reference image kind of thing, I guess. But traditionally it's used as kind of a stencil tool. So we are going to, let's see, where do we want this? Do we want this like right in the middle? What do you guys think? Probably going to need some more resolution for this, but at least let's see what this looks like here. Whoops. Let me fill in my paint there first. I think the resolution was working fairly well there, though. So polypaint is based on vertex assigned color, so you need to increase your resolution of your geometry if you want to be able to get like higher resolution textures here. Unless you're actually working on a texture map, which of course then it's based on the resolution of that. All right, what do we think? Maybe, I don't know, maybe we should, I think traditionally it's on like only one side. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's do a meme review hoodie. Yeah, there's the one that's like on Redbubble that I'm pretty sure isn't official. I think this was the official one with it over on the side. I don't know. I don't think it really matters too much. Sure, let's keep it there for now. And then we'll just go ahead and do a quick pass on our face. We can very quickly, you know what, we'll keep the reference images off screen for a second. I just want to play around here for just a moment with my expression. And I wanted to soften the line around the lips a little bit more. Just feels super tight. If we look at that from the silhouette, it's pretty much, or at least it was, like a pure crease running through there, which I typically don't like. All right. Other than that, I don't know, I think we could play around with this forever and just kind of noodle around. For the most part, I'm pretty happy with the expression that, the slight expression that we've achieved. Say a few more things up here in the hair. We can call this boy done. One thing that I think really helped with the likeness here, I really tried to square off the face quite a bit more right before I started streaming. It was a really minor change, honestly. Like if I were to roll back here, I think I should still have it here. Let me load this in real quick. Here you go. So, yes, that is it. So here's the neutral. If we look at the sides of the head, right around that, from kind of like the back of the jaw up to the cheekbone or the zygomatic bone flowing back behind the ear, around there, it's just a little bit too rounded, and I think kind of pushing that to be more square really helps it feel more like the character of PewDiePie. Let me delete him, our old one. And like I said, other than that, let's look up at our hair here for a moment. I might play around with the stray strands of hair a little bit more and try to figure out maybe a better direction for those. Maybe do like a little bit less. I kind of like the really clean look, so maybe it's just a matter of doing less of these. Maybe a few less. I don't know. I haven't really decided. I thought I wanted to do some like shorter strands, but kind of like some of the longer ones as well. Oh, let's make sure that hair isn't poking through there. Grab that. He's got a pretty large forehead. Koraki, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. How are you doing? Looking dapper. Getting there. You know, he's a dapper lad, I guess. This hair is like the last, what would you call it? Caveat. I don't know. The last hump. And I knew a lot of our stream today would be working on this. What do you guys think? Is there anything that we want to change in our face right now? I'm pretty happy with it at this point. I don't want to do any more details, any additional form. I like the really simplistic ears that we have. I think that feels nice. I think it's mainly just up here that I want to break some more hair. Break some more stuff so that I can fix it again. This is what I do on my critiques. I just break everybody's models while trying to fix stuff. Typically, we don't have enough time to like fix everything. It's more just an exercise in talking about how you can fix it, so like the general process. Speaking of critiques, for those that are new here, we do live critiques every Friday here on my Twitch channel at noon EST. And you can get in on that by shooting an email to follygon@gmail.com with your ZTool file. You can take a look this Friday. Oh, and by the way, I will not be streaming this Thursday. Forgot to tell you guys that at the start of the stream. Some more people in here now either way. So no stream this Thursday. So I will be here tomorrow and on Friday for the critiques, but not on Thursday. Got some other stuff I gotta take care of. Some real boy work. All right. Whoops. What do you guys think about stray strands? Think we should go shorter with more of these? Kind of the direction that I'm leaning. I do appreciate some of the silhouette breakup that we get from the longer strands. I think some of it's just a little much. They feel like very stuck on there, like not very integrated. I think some of these feel quite a bit more integrated, kind of like that guy up around there. Maybe that's it. Maybe we just need to noodle with them a little bit with our move brush. What the heck is that? Well, that's stupid. That's what happens when I sit here and play with these forever and keep remeshing them with auto Z-remesher. Eventually I just break stuff beyond what it needs. Or beyond what it can handle. Got quite a bit of undos in this hair already. Grab that Z modeler and let's clean this up. Oh wow. It's kind of a mess in a lot of these areas. It's a very quick cleanup pass here, and then I think we'll be good. As long as we don't have any last minute questions. This is the kind of stuff where it's just way too dense. I really like the curve tube brush, but that's like one of its huge drawbacks, is that the geometry is just way too high resolution for what you need. You can, there is a, in your stroke palette, you can turn down, where is it? Under curve, your curve steps, you can turn that down quite a bit. By default, it's set on 1/2, but if I were to draw this out, pretty dense. If I drop this down, or I'm sorry, if I increase it so it steps more, or steps less over a longer distance. The problem that you end up running into here is that it's a lot harder to get the shape that you want, to get the geometry to snap to what you're trying to create, just because it starts to snap a lot less. So the higher you end up putting this, like you can sit here and draw out that line and it won't snap for quite a while, and it just gets, it's just hard to work with. I wish there was like an in-between with that you could use, but typically this is what I have to do. There's no way, I really wish there was an operation that would delete like every other edge loop down a tube. That would be something that I would love to see. There's not really an easy way to do something like that. This is another one of those pieces of geometry that's just like a little too stretched. I'm gonna leave that one now, because it looks like it's fine once it gets smooth. Just do a couple more of these, and we'll call them good. You gotta be careful when using Z-remesher and auto remeshing topology on stuff like this, because it just over time gets messier and messier, and eventually it's just impossible to work with. Right now it's like borderline. I should just redo it, but we will stick with it for now. It's fine. We'll make do. All right. So just a quick kind of cleanup pass to help our curves not feel like they're going every which way. And then a crash. Nope. Okay, I thought we were gonna crash. All right. Other than that, I might play with this hair a little bit more, but I think for now, I'm liking it. I'm really just mainly concerned about that, primary shape of the hair. That's kind of what I wanted to fix today. These extra stray strands are kind of a bonus though, and I think they work fairly well. We might want to redo a couple of them, but other than that, I think that is going to be a good place for us to hit pause on the stream for today. I will be streaming tomorrow, probably not on this guy again. I'll also be streaming tonight on the Pixelogic ZBrush channel. I think I had a dude here, where was he? So if you saw the beginning of this character, we started streaming on a concept by Luigi, Lucarelli, or Hello Luigi. So we got this far in a couple hours, and hopefully on stream tonight we can get a bit further. Probably with, I don't know, we started to block out some really quick hair. We didn't really do anything with this other than kind of just like dynamesh it and destroy it. So we probably will do more with that, as well as giving this guy some arms, because right now he's just a straight up torso boy. All right, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If so, I hope I can see you tonight on the stream. If you don't know, if you're joining in here a little bit late, there's a link down to my YouTube channel where these streams get uploaded, so no worries if you end up coming in here a little bit late or missing out on one. There's also a link down below to my Gumroad. It's just gumroad.com/Follygon. I put a ton more work into this stuff than I do anything with these kind of quick streams and some of the stuff that I do on my YouTube channel for free content. But I have some courses on here. If you're brand new to ZBrush and digital sculpting, I highly encourage people to check out my Quick Start course. I also have some more stuff on here for intermediate and advanced users, as well as some base meshes, brushes, materials, all the stuff that I use professionally here for my work and on my my Twitch streams and YouTube channel. For instance, I have like 5 base mannequins that you can get for like $1 if you're interested in checking those out. There's a variety of those. But yeah, other than that, you guys again have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out here on the stream. You guys are so nice, always. It looks good. Thank you, babies, and Danny as well as people's whose username I can't read. Thank you so much. All right, see you guys.